When we set out to turn Superbook into British Sign Language, it was a new venture for us here at CBN UK. We connected with a Christian translator, J. Morton Thomas, fluent in British Sign Language. His vibrancy on screen not only brought the stories to life, but also aided understanding for those watching. We're here at a church in Northampton to connect with Karen and Oscar Sandel, who have been directly impacted by this work. So let's go and meet them. Or I suppose a good starting point is to find out really about Oscar's communication needs and what that looks like. So are you able to unpack that a little bit for us, Karen?
I can, yeah. So Oscar here, as you can see, has got Down syndrome, and that affects his speech and his hearing. And since he was a baby, we've always used sign language with him because we didn't know how his communication would develop. But as he's grown up, he's been making good use of hearing aids, haven't you? And his speech has come on a lot. So what he finds is if people get used to him, they understand what he's saying, but sometimes they don't. So he will use signs to help people if people know sign language. And so you use lots of different things. We call it total communication. So today, Oscar will use a bit of signing, lots of talking, and we'll work together to make that communication as clear as possible.
Yeah.
So when did you discover Superbook?
Superbook. So when you just become a Christian, hadn't you, about 3 years ago?
Yes, I was a Christian. Yeah.
And we found Superbook, and you like to watch it.
I watched Superbook.
Yeah. You watch Superbook, yeah.
I want to follow him.
Who's him? Who do you want to follow?
Follow Jesus Christ.
So watching Superbook, you could learn the stories of the Bible, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And you could see for yourself.
Yeah.
And you've got the three characters, Chris,
Joy,
Gizmo, yeah. And they would help you understand.
Now at the time, do it more about him.
That's right, yeah.
And what difference has having this resource made?
Well, having the signer in the corner.
Yeah, Johnny, that was all, yeah.
Yeah, it's given you another level of understanding. So there's some of the things that you perhaps couldn't understand what they were saying. Because can you read the words at the bottom?
No.
Why not?
I don't see well. I see a word.
You don't see, and you don't understand. You can't read very well, can you?
Yeah.
And that's because you've got a learning difficulty. So you use speech and signing, but reading, reading is too tricky. So you do listening and watching, and then the signer, you think, that's what they're talking about.
I learned about the book, and I want to help him do everything about Chris said.
So things that Chris said, you want to follow those things, yeah?
These days, he better do evil.
And how Chris deals with the devil, yeah. He realises the devil's tricking him, doesn't he?
No, they know what to help Jesus.
So he turns to Jesus for help, yeah.
He does anything what he wants to do for him, and he saw what happened. He will kill Jesus on the cross.
So he saw what happened with the devil killing Jesus on the cross.
And I believe that he's alive.
And so he believes he's alive, yeah. So Chris is really useful because he helps to unpack the meaning. And Oscar can think, I need to do the same as that. Sometimes I'll see him and he's going, yeah, come on, you get really excited, don't you, when you're watching it? Particularly when the big angels come out. They're big, strong angels, aren't they? And there's warring going on. You love watching all that, don't you? And seeing how victorious Jesus is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Karen, what difference does it make having a deaf translator actually doing all of the signing? Does it make a difference?
I think it makes a big difference, yeah. So, because I think they can understand how a deaf person thinks and how much more important it is to make things visual in the way that you translate things. So it's not just a word-for-word translation, it's really getting across the meaning and the way that it's being said, and perhaps some of the things that would be obvious to a hearing person wouldn't be to a deaf person, so they might throw in a bit of extra meaning into the way they sign it so that that's not lost.
And what difference does it make to you, Oscar, to be able to watch something that you fully understand?
I've been about death.
You want to understand what God says? For yourself?
For myself.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, reading the Bible, God speaks to me through the Bible.
Yeah.
And God speaks to you through Superbook, because it's still truth, isn't it? It's his truth. And he helps you to understand it that way.
Yeah.
Do you find when you finish watching, you think about what you've been watching and what God's teaching you?
Yeah.
And so you cling on to Jesus and Jesus helps you. And when you're reading or watching Superbook, it helps you to learn and know that he's with you. And that is powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about the Luke 5 Awards because, bless you, you nominated us for this translation of Superbook for an award. So can you unpack what these awards are?
Okay, so it's Through the Roof is the organisation, and they like to encourage any form of accessibility that's provided for disabilities in the church and wider. And so when CBN got in touch with Through the Roof to ask for feedback about BSL versions of the episodes, we were contacted to have a look, and they said, see what Oscar thinks, see what you think, because I've got access to signing as well. And we fed back, and we were just so thrilled that our feedback was taken on board. It's like, oh, wow, that's really good. And then when we saw it and saw that it was done at such a high level, we just got really excited, didn't we? So when they said, what do you think? Do you think it's worth nominating? We were like, absolutely.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
So we wrote that article, didn't we, to explain a little bit about why we personally excited for Oscar's spiritual growth, but also for me, because I'm passionate about the deaf community having access to the Bible. And as I say, it's going to be a long time before the whole Bible is going to be translated into British Sign Language. So it was a no-brainer. We had to nominate, and I was really thrilled that they said, yeah, we'll do it, and they did.
And what is your hope then? Because it's quite clear there needs to be more Christian content in British Sign Language. What is your hope then for the future of that?
I mean, hopefully all the episodes of Superbook will be translated into BSL. I think that's where you're going. Yeah. So there's a real dearth of knowledge about Christianity, not just in the deaf community, wider apart, but especially in the deaf community, because they're reliant on hearing people, bringing it to them and explaining it to them in a language they understand. So, so the more biblical content that can get out that's accessible, it's got to make a difference. It's going to be sowing seeds, and when you're sharing the gospel, they'll have some concept of Jesus. Or when you're sharing the gospel, you can say, well, look at this. This will show you what he's like. Like you might say to someone, oh, go and read the book of Luke so you can see what Jesus is like in the gospels.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do that with a deaf British Sign language user unless they've got good enough English, which isn't always the case.
If somebody watching has never seen Superbook before, what would you say to them to encourage them to watch it?
I watched it because that'll help them learn a bit more about him.
So you think it will help them to learn a bit more about him? Yeah.
And about the Bible, about him.
About the Bible and him, yeah.
The guy about him and songs.
Oh, and the songs are good, yeah. So that he died for them, and the songs are good. The songs are good for helping learn things as well, aren't they?
Well, it's been absolutely amazing to talk to you today and to see firsthand that what we're doing is actually meeting individuals where they're at, meeting you and your needs. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing to hear stories like Karen and Oscar's and to see the difference that this work is making. And we want to take this opportunity to thank you, our partners and founders, for standing with us and making this work possible.